Welcome to the DMF. I'm Justin Younts. This is part one.
Okay, welcome to the DMF. I have a guest today. He is an assistant director, or an AD, as we say in the business, with 30 years of experience. He wrote a book on his life in the business called Not Just Sunglasses and Autographs. Please welcome to the show, the Irish Bull, Tommy Burke. Welcome to the DMF. How are you doing, sir?
It's great, Justin. Great seeing you.
Thank you. How did you get that term, the Irish Bull?
I was on Crocodile Buckside. I tend to, push. I push crews through with a lot of humor. So I play animated. So I just, why are we shooting? He said, "My fault. Let's go."
Yeah,
My joke. So they told me the Irish Bull.
I love it. So where are you from originally?
I'm from Boston originally. I've been in LA for 35 years. I still say I'm from Boston, even though I've been here for so long.
Same here. I love that. My mom's from a little town outside of Boston called Groveland. Do you know where that is? Do you know where Groveland is?
No, that's way out there.
Yeah, it's a little outside. My aunt's from Worcester, and I don't know. I have other.
Your aunt?
Yeah,
You have an aunt. You have an aunt.
my aunt or aunt.
Boston's called aunt.
Yeah, I know. So what made you interested in movies? Were you interested in movies growing up?
Not really. I just fell into it. I mean, as you tell by my book, I fell into things. I didn't really plan things. I kind of just fell into things left and right.
But you had a passion for the show Saint Elsewhere, which I watched some of that. A lot of good actors came from that show.
I want to give a shout out to Justin.
Voice.
Most prepared host I've ever seen in my life. He's read my book. He's read my Substack. Watched some of my movies. I mean, I'm not even this prepared.
And he watched Saint Elsewhere, the pilot.
Did I tell you I ended up working with the producer director of St. Elsewhere, Mark Tinker? He was on. He's the producer Tinker. He's the producer director on Chicago PD.
Oh wow. So what was that like coming in, because you love that show? What was it about that show?
Chicago PD or St. Elsewhere. St. Elsewhere.
Saint Elsewhere.
Well, I just moved to LA, so I was homesick.
So it's just like you got a glimpse of, where you're from. Okay, that's cool. I like that. What specifically made you want to be a PA?
Well, you didn't want to be a PA. It's a natural progression. You start as a PA. I got fired from the first job. I didn't know what a PA was. I got fired from a lot of jobs, but I kept sticking it out.
And it's a really hilarious story, the way you tell it in the book. Because he's like, you just got fired. He's like, you didn't really know what you were doing. I mean, they kind of expect you to know. Is that kind of how you would look at it? Like what you knew, you didn't, what you needed to know, you don't know.
Well, I went to Boston College, which was a business school. So my professor, television teacher said, "Film, yuck, chemicals," because they wanted kids at BC to be dressed like it. I'm wearing a college shirt, a short sleeve shirt.
Mm.
Where does it work? Where Boston College grads, they wanted to be it's just a ties.
Yeah.
So Emerson and Northeastern were the ones that were film schools. Emerson and BU, I'm at Boston University. So I didn't know anything about filming. So when I got on set, I just stood around like a bump on the log.
Got fired. This it kept coming back. What made you go to Boston College?
Very interesting reason. You ready?
Okay.
It was free.
Yeah. Back in those
My father, even deeper, especially my father was a teacher there. So all four boys in my family, we all went to Boston College for free.
Oh, that's awesome. What did you study? What did you major in?
Communications, which is kind of catch-all.
Cool. So you've talked about this in the book. You talk about the importance of being in the hospitality industry, such as a waiter. Why do you think that's important, especially being on a set?
Because you got to take people's garbage, you got to move, people yell at you, you got to roll with it. I mean, I worked at Tony's Villa on Route 9, Boston, home of the king size cocktail, and I just take people's garbage. Got to hustle, got to be on your feet all the time.
Yeah. Is that something like, would you be able to tell the difference between somebody that was like a PR, somebody that was on set that had not been in the hospitality industry, as opposed to somebody that had been?
Well, when I interview PAs, I go, I'm not asking what film school you go to because you're not going to be handling the camera. I want to know what restaurant you worked at, and it throws them.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've talked to people that have come up the indie way, and then they bring in like somebody who's like a cinematographer who came from the film school way, and the thing that they talk about is how that they're not able to really adapt. Like if it's not in the book or if it's not written down, they won't get that. Like, well, all we have to do instead of setting up the dolly, we could just put it on this chair and just roll it or something like that. Like they're not into it. Is that something you see?
Well, one of my favorite expressions on Chicago PD, I always believe don't come up with a problem unless you come up with a solution. So I say, here's a cheese ball idea. I mean, I'm going to pitch a really lowbrow idea, but go with it.
What about because you talk in the book about getting robbed. You got robbed several times. How I still don't understand that. Like in the book, you got like you just left the car out there and then it's like gone. Like,
Well,
you,
the robber came up and put a gun to my window.
yeah, that's
And I leaned on the wall, which is stupid. Don't do that. I stupid. So he took his gun and smashed it against the window, and I left, and he took off. Also, my Substack, I talk about being. I didn't want to bring it up in my book, but I also was like a cops pointed a gun at me in Playa del Rey.
yeah. So, Mermaids is like your first big show, like with PA. Talk about that experience.
Well, this is interesting. I got to find Jim Van Wyck, which I quote many times in the book. I got to find where he is because I want to get in the book.
Mm.
It was just a great job. I ran my ass off. I literally was running all day, and I was a go-to guy.
And you had a nice relationship with Winona as well as Cher in there. She used to call you, I believe, Berkey. You say in the book.
That was my nickname because when I got into actually my brother's nickname, but when I first started in film business in Boston,
Yeah.
when I said there were three Toms, so I always wanted to be able to hear my name, so I changed it to Berkey.
One thing I found from the book is you said that originally Frank Oz was going to be directing that. Did you ever have any experience with him before he was replaced, or?
Oh, but I wish I could find him again because I give a glowing review of him.
Yeah.
He's had some tough film times himself, but he's he's got a great attitude.
Talk about why an AD specifically.
What an AD does?
Yeah. Well, why did you want to do?
Because
Yeah.
um um I was I was lifting things my whole life. I was lugging things, and I didn't want to be 45, 55, hauling stuff. I could have been a key grip. A good friend of mine was a gaffer.
Hmm.
So it was a key grip right off the bat. I could have been working tons.
Hmm.
I want to be lifting things my whole life. So
So that's why you talk about the AD. You say he's like the foreman of the set.
yeah, kind of like someone made a great example of what an AD does. It's like a chef, he doesn't help when you got all the food come out one at a time. You got to make it all come out at once. And AD balance that so everyone's ready at the same time. You set the call sheet, you set the call times, and you show people you want everyone to show up. You don't want someone to show up too early or too late.
One of the things I like to talk about in the book is you talk about the football marketing, where you sent the footballs there. One of the things I wanted to ask was, as I was reading, is like, who did you send these out to specifically?
Just higher ups, producers.
Just higher ups. Okay.
I don't think it was the greatest idea because it's expensive and I didn't get much, traction. But
Mm.
make a mistake. I always say make a mistake. At least you're trying.
Yeah. So when you were doing skin, you work with Ron Silver. What was skin like? Because skin is a very this was kind of a pivotal place in your life at this point. What happens here? Am I correct?
Talking about the cancer.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to go into that right now?
You take me where you wanted me to go. You call it.
Yeah. Let's go to the cancer. Let's go straight
Well,
into
I
it
just got it.
because
I just got. Everyone knows what Jerry Bruckheimer is. So I got biopsies through Push Nevada. Got biopsies, and I got a biopsy. I didn't tell us the book because it's kind of a stupid story, but Justin, you bring everything out of me.
I love it.
I drove home from a surgery. I was biopsy right here. It was a real easy one. But a friend did. One friend was going to pick me up. The other friend was going to take my car home. He didn't come take the car, so I said to my friend drive me home. I gotta take my car. I drove home after surgery.
How are you able to do that?
A lot of people say my favorite thing to do is it's a sick thing to do is tell that story to people and watch your face go. I'm scared of this guy. I'm scared of him.
I just had surgery to have my gallbladder removed. I couldn't move, and I'm just like because I had read the book before I did that. I was just like, how did he move?
It wasn't a very invasive surgery, but
Yeah.
half hour after being under anesthesia, I was driving home.
What I love that you talk about in the book is you said like when you got the diagnosis, you were like you're just like on to the next. You're just like on to the next thing. Most people would sit there and be like, "Oh, that's it." And you're like, "Nope, this is not it. I'm just going to keep going." What was it about? Was that just your upbringing? You say?
Yeah. Also, the film is having dealt with a lot of problems. But I remember the doctor said to me, "You have cancer." I said, "So what are we doing about it?"
I love that. You just go straight to that. Was the doctor in shock when you like just went right to that? Was he like not prepared for you to?
No, but I tell a great story. I tell about after I went through all my chemo and my radiation.
Yeah.
The doctor said, "I'm a remission." I said to him, "Am I normal?" The doctor with wise ass and said, "Tommy, you're never going to be normal. You're remission."
But that's just amazing. Like, but here's the other thing that you talk about also. Like, you didn't tell anybody that you were doing this. Like, you would go to set, and then you would go to chemo at night. How did you have the like? How did you like? Only one other person knew about that.
Well, each director of episode did.
Yeah.
Producer director knew. I didn't want people to be waiting a hand on me. I'm supposed to lead by example.
Yeah.
I never sit down on set. I keep going,
Because you talk in the book about 1 minute you did have a break where you kind of had a blow up. You talk a little bit about it in the book, but I was wondering, could you give a little more detail on like what caused that break? I mean, I don't blame you because I mean, like what you're doing is amazing.
Well, I met the prop guy on Facebook, and he remembered me. It just I don't remember. I just blew up. I can't remember what it is, but I'm not proud of it.
Well, yeah. I mean, but we all have our. I mean, I think you should cut yourself some slack because I mean that what you're doing. I mean, after they knew, because that's kind of how they found out, right?
No, at the end, I had to go to radiation. That was once every weekday, once every weekday during the week for a month. I knew I couldn't do both the show and the radiation, so I made a great little memo saying, "This is the things I've been going through," and a lot of people, some people cried.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, to me, that's just amazing. I can't talk enough about how the fact you were able to do both those things as long as you were able to do it until you couldn't do it.
Well, it's like one step at a time. You don't look at I look at the whole 6 episodes of chemo.
Yeah.
Looked at each week, 2 weeks at a time.
Now you talk about Chicago PD when you get that, like this was, you said, your favorite job. Why was it just the people? Just, or am I wrong? Is it not your favorite job?
It's my favorite job. The people are great.
So it's just that camaraderie. If everybody understood everybody's situation.
And we had a great technical advisor, Brian Lucci, who helped train the actors to become real cops.
Yeah.
It was great. Like Mark Tinker was there. A great producer. I had to leave. I
Yeah.
in the book. I was talking to a neurologist in the parking lot of Chicago PD, telling him about my what I went through as cancer. He said to me, "Why are you doing this? Why go through hell again? You know, Parkinson's not enough. Don't try to do too much." So I finally gave. I said, "Why am I killing myself?"
Was that what did you feel like when you heard that you had, Parkinson's early onset? Was it just, did you kind of just have the same idea as you did with cancer, or just like, well, what do we do about it?
Well, cancer is kind of like you go through some stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about. I knew nothing about Parkinson's. So I kind of found it amazing when the doctor he brought me to his office. He looked at his records. And he went out of the office, and I said, "I have Parkinson's." I barely knew what Parkinson's was.
Yeah.
So it's been a learning experience. I've got some great people on the line that have teaching me stuff.
Yeah. Were you with Chicago PD from the very beginning?
First episode, first year.
Okay. One of the things I like that you talk about in the book is when the Red Sox won the World Series. you're doing the new Partridge Family, and you're sitting there and somebody someone watching that, and then you mention off on the side, oh yeah, I also worked with Stone. I just thought that was like, what was that like? I mean, did you think that was going to happen at that time, or is it just like?
I called the he's probably long retired by now, but I called the executive in charge of Parkinson Family. I said, "Dan Harris coming back." He said, "Are you on drugs?" Because I guess it was so bad.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean by that?
Well, it didn't come out that well. So they did the pilot, and he said to me, "You're on drugs if you think they think he's going a long distance." We did the pilot that was.
And you also worked on the pilot for Desperate Housewives. What did you think about that set?
It was nuts.
Really? Like there was already drama even at that time?
It's funny. Terry Archer gave me a bottle of wine,
Yeah.
thinking that I was going to be the AD on the series.
Yeah.
Little does she know that I was never going to come back for the series.
That's something you didn't want to do.
I don't think he wanted me either because there's a lot of miscommunication, a lot of hell.
So it was just a lot of drama. Even at that very first episode, there was already drama. That was that was it. We should talk about Chicago PD. It's like that was like a dream. Like I imagine you probably thought every set should be like that.
It was great. Great people above, great people below. I mean, when I worked a year after I got diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Yeah.
I remember the grips used to come by, make me move my arm because you got to move your arm to keep your body moving.
That's so nice.
They really nice. I mean, great people, great people.
Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.